I'll go Nate.
And as far as finishing up with your question, I've got my loyal commitment to where we stand with our lubes and oil products with our current team, and 2011 is next year, and we'll definitely look to move and make a switch for the drag car next year.
Let's go Nate, Al, and then Chuck. Go ahead, Nate. Let's get Nate the mic. Thank you.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Kurt, you and Brad's long-term futures are now fairly secure, but Sam kind of still looking, it appears, for next year. I know the team has said they want to get a sponsor for him, they want to keep a third car, but do you feel for him a little bit that, I don't want to say he's the odd man out, but now he's got to kind of be maybe a little bit on pins and needles about what the future holds there, and do you think the team will have a third car next year?
That's the most refreshing part, is that my deal is done, and I'm signed long-term, and I don't have to worry about the silly season madnesses and what goes on with staying away from what the actual focus is, and that's driving the car. Brad's settled in. Sam is definitely part of our program, and he will be part of the future of Penske Racing. I know 2011, he will be picked up for his option, or if it wasn't an option, he will be driving for Penske next year. And what I hope happens in the upcoming months is a secure sponsor for him to allow him to sign a multi-year deal and move forward. That way we can put all that behind us in the summer months and be ready to rip for 2011. Do I feel like he's odd man out? Yeah, I feel a little bit odd in the whole scenario, but you're never on pins and needles working for Roger Penske.
Let's go Al, Chuck, Claire. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kurt, Al Muskie from the Anniston Star here in town. Can you talk to us about anything beyond the length of the contract? Can you share some of the particulars with us?
At this time, I'm not really obligated to talk about it or have the access to do so. It's a multi-year agreement between Penske and Penske Corp and myself and Shell and Pennzoil.
Is it? Can I just ask you? Is it any different in any way from the one that you had with him previous to this?
No, it's not different in any way. It's very similar, as a matter of fact.
Let's go Chuck, Claire, and Bruce.
Hey, Kurt. Once the dust settles here, we head to Richmond. If you could, next week, just your thoughts on running there, and you've had some pretty good runs there in the past.
Yeah, Richmond's been a great track for me in the past. I felt like I've had solid runs, and then I've had runs where we were scratching our head going, wow, what did we miss? And last time there, finished second. I hope to build on that. We've been out testing at a short track close to here, Gresham Motorsports Park, just trying to get a little better on our short track program. We finished third at Bristol earlier this year, so we're hoping for good things at Richmond. It's one of those pivotal races in the season, because when you go back there in the fall, that's the cutoff race for making the chase. So you definitely better be good there in May to be good there in September.
Let's go Claire, Bruce, and then end with Dwight. Go ahead.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Safe to say, and just my understanding, hearing all this, that it looks like you want to spend the rest of your career with Roger to make a decision like this. Obviously, it's a huge decision to make. You lose some with the Miller Lite, but you must gain either in longevity of contract or promises from Roger or money. Making the decision, is that true to assume that this is the kind of decision you would make thinking that you want to spend a career with Roger and were made promises related to that?
Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind to work with Roger on a lifetime type deal. And this program presented itself, and it happened in such a quick time frame that it didn't allow itself to develop any further. It was almost like, hey, you going with me? I've got to go make this happen. And it was a situation where I felt very comfortable with. I now know Roger from working with him for the past 5 years, and I definitely look to have my career end here at Penske Racing, and hopefully that's 10, 15 years down the road. Being only 31 years old, there's still so much potential, blue sky, and so much fun that we can have together. That I look at the business relationship as being an important factor in signing with Roger.
Two more questions, Bruce, and then end with Dwight.
Bruce Martin, SI.com. Talking to Tim Cindric yesterday, he admitted that Penske was late into the game on the Shell thing, but Shell came back and said, if you put a deal together focusing on Kurt Busch, then we're interested. To know that Shell was interested in you. Talk a little bit about that.
One of the prerequisites from Shell was that I would be driving the Shell Pennzoil Dodge in 2011. That was really the only option that they gave us. And so it didn't fit for Brad, didn't fit for Sam, and For the other competitors that were involved, as far as negotiating with Shell Pennzoil, it's probably not my place to say who we were up against competing against, but the names that were in the mix, it was a very powerful group, and for them to side with us and to commit to Roger and myself makes me feel very special. It's humbling in one sense because there's such a big organization that's globally known and recognized. And so just talking with some of their executives over the phone, it has all the potential in the world to be one of the biggest programs that we've seen in Cup over some time. But the business-to-business side and what they bring for a global alliance was very powerful, and that helped make the decision with them and Roger.
Final question. Go ahead, Dwight.
Dwight, DrumRaceTape.com. Kurt, as far as changes go, Casey's going through some changes, you're going through some changes. A lot of people go through changes, but do you think that that's what separates you guys? You wouldn't even went out and learned how to drag race, but do you think that separates you from the average person that can't do what you do?
Well, there's quite a few hats that you have to wear in this sport. When I first came in, I was just so focused on driving the car that I never looked at anything else. And when an image was created or when business pops up, you learn to adapt, and you try to grow within yourself, and you grow within in the walls that you're given. And so to have the opportunity to team up with Roger on this deal, it was something I couldn't pass up. And you just have to compartmentalize a bunch of different things, whether it's the business hat that you wear, whether it's the driving hat, working with our sponsors, going out there and interacting and having fun with our race fans. And then the most important part is strapping that helmet on and firing the engine up when they say, drivers, start your engines. That's the best part about my job.
Kurt, we appreciate it. Again, congratulations on the news of the week, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.